Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. Today is March 18th, and we're looking at kind of a questionable what category this illegal abortion death went into. Because in some cases, the woman was identified as a nurse, and in some, she was identified as not being a nurse, but the abortion was perpetrated at a sanitarium. And I found out about it from when abortion was illegal and deadly, Seattle's maternal death toll. So the Seattle Civil Rights and Labor History Project did actually provide sources for the abortion deaths that they mentioned, which really makes them stand out. They're kind of conspicuous for their lonesomeness. So I'm going to read their summary. 1 month after her husband Roy was discharged from the military, Mary Johnson told him she wanted to end their 4-year marriage. A week later, he returned to the couple's Capitol Hill apartment to find her gravely ill. She told him she had had an abortion at a North Seattle sanitarium run by Margaret Folsom. She died that night in the hospital. The husband may have tried to blackmail Folsom. He was later charged with extortion. 3 days later, Folsom and nurse Ada Wrench were arrested and charged with manslaughter and abortion. Police claimed that the sanitarium, located in a 4-bedroom house, was part of a widespread abortion racket. Folsom and Wrench soon faced charges in a second fatality, Irene Timmons. Sentenced to 20 years in prison, their convictions were overturned by the state Supreme Court in 1947. In a second trial, Folsom was convicted only on an abortion charge and sentenced to 10 months in county jail. And they list some newspapers that they got their information from. And I found some court documents, some other newspaper articles, and Mary's death certificate and Folsom's criminal record. And Folsom's first name was actually Marjorie, not Margaret. And Mary's surname was Johnston rather than Johnson. And she told her husband she wanted a divorce because she had fallen in love with another man. Now, Folsom and Wrench evidently made repeat abortion attempts from March 11th through 15th. Mary and the man who had gotten her pregnant had gone to Folsom Sanitarium, referred to in court documents as a hospital, where the man paid $350 for the abortion. And Mary was reportedly in good health when she arrived, but was very sick the following day. On March 17th, her lover took her from the sanitarium back to her Seattle apartment. And that was where she was on March 18th when her husband came back and took her back to the sanitarium, and then she was taken to Columbus Hospital, where she died during emergency surgery. Mary's brother came and took her body home to Yakima for burial. Now, Folsom argued that Mary's abortion had been perpetrated elsewhere by a man in the office of Dr. Patee, P-A-T-E-E, before Mary had even gone to the sanatorium. And there was some weighing of evidence regarding how long Mary had been pregnant, how long before her death she had suffered the injuries that ultimately took her life. The prosecution asserted that Folsom simply rented Patee's office and committed abortions there. And Mary's husband was arrested on a charge of extorting $10,000 from Folsom in exchange for his silence about the abortion. The evidence was two $5,000 cashier's checks written out to him. The Seattle Star said that the usual price for an abortion at the time in Seattle was $350, which is roughly $5,700 in 2025 dollars. So it's hard to say whether this was somebody with medical training abortion or an amateur abortion. Certainly, I wish that Mary had not gotten herself into this situation where she was cheating on her husband with another man, and the two of them deciding to kill the baby they concocted together. It started with Mary's decision to cheat on her husband. I'm not saying she deserved this, but when you make one bad decision and then you try to fix it by making another bad decision, then you try to fix it by making another bad decision, you need to catch yourself when you make the first bad choice. When you're in a hole, the first thing you need to do is quit digging. And unfortunately, Mary just kept digging and wound up dying as a result.